back to Julia.
Si, senor.
You wanted to... I mixed up your notes from last time, this time, but you wanted to talk about if guys want girls to be virtuous, then they need to hold themselves to the same standard, and this includes porn use.
Totally. Includes who?
Porn use, but I'm more focused on the beginning part, so if guys want girls to be virtuous, then they need to hold themselves to the same standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to elaborate?
Elaborate briefly if you can.
Elaborate briefly.
Yeah.
I think that in terms of something like celibacy, especially in today's day and age, there's a reason why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. So, like, obviously for me, it's because of my faith. And so I'm going to want the men that I'm dating to have that same focus. Because it doesn't work when you're... otherwise, you fall.
Sure.
Loose Pussy Energy donated $69.
Yo, LP, good to see you in the chat,
amount
man.
of no's is insane.
Where you been, bro?
These dusty, busted as bitches think they are a bunch of tens. Stop the damn cap. There's a guy named Abdul that would play this game with you. Hashtag get the fucking rocks.
Get the rocks. Yeah. Abdul? Yeah. Get the rocks. Get the rocks.
Okay. Well, so... Yes. There's the micro level on the individual level, but sure. I think you're talking a bit more on the macro level.
Okay.
But it occurs to me that it's not like an equal 1-to-1 proportion of like, so you have promiscuous women. I would argue that there's more women engaging in promiscuity than there are men. What I think is happening is you'll have, for example, there'll be like, say, the top 10% of men that are hyper promiscuous. And those guys will have, say, body counts of, I don't know, over 100. Mm-hmm. And then you'll have a larger proportion of women that have, for example, 30, 40, 50 body counts. Mm-hmm. For these aren't exact numbers, but just to articulate a point. And then you'll have a huge subset of men that have zero access or minimal access to hookup culture. Mm-hmm. Typically, these men are not going to be able to get sex outside of perhaps the very rare occasional hookup, or it's going to have to be through a relationship. But almost any woman, if she was so inclined, could be a slut. Any woman could be a slut. Not every man can be a slut.
Okay.
And so if it's, say, 50% of women that are engaging in this promiscuity, and it's 10% of men that are enabling it, wouldn't the blame be on the larger cohort of people that is sort of perpetuating this?
Okay, sure.
Oh, okay, checkmate. Cool. Moving on to the next topic, I guess.
Well, no. Like, what's your point?
Well, but you're saying, well,
was I blaming
men need to be virtuous too?
In terms of pornography, yeah. I mean,
I'm not talking about pornography.
Right.
I'm just talking more so about there's this like men are promiscuous, women are promiscuous, but it seems like it's a small portion of men that have that level of sexual access. So if it's 10% of men and 50% of women, it seems like the onus is a little bit more on women there than on... Like, there's more women who are participating in this than there are men.
The problem is like with the experiment that we just did with the dating apps, is that everyone wants the same guy.
Yes,
everyone wants the same guy, and that's the problem.
Well, and I always say this too, like, even as a Christian woman, and Julie's a Christian woman, we still, as Christian women, do not tend to be attracted to the men who are virgins, because the men who are virgins tend to be involuntarily virgins, right? So we still, and the reason is because we look at men who are sexually successful with other women, and we see that they have value because other women want them.
It's like, oh, there must be something there.
Right.
Everybody's guilty.
Whereas if you get to like didn't you say your dating range was like 30 to 40 something?
Yeah, although obviously I'm willing to
but like, so you're probably not going to find a guy in his 30s or 40s who's a virgin unless
I know
he's involuntarily a virgin.
You said that you disagree with Brian regarding his views on marriage, body count, premarital sex. Wait, are you so you're celibate, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been celibate for?
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty, congrats. That's good.
Thank you.
4 years. Okay. So no carnal knowledge for 4 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. Good times. Carnal knowledge, like sexual.
I wouldn't call it good times, Brian. I'd call it like we're surviving, but you know, the way that I would like.
The PQ is just going.
The way that the PQ is going crazy.
Chad causes the problem. He needs to put his blank down or society crumbles. Simps encourage it. Chad plus simp equals chimp behavior. Also to blank, women are bigger sleuths than virtually any males. Okay. Thank you, Final Wave Feminism. Appreciate it. Guys, get your 69s in if you want. It does occur to me that one of the problems going on is because we have this sort of very especially with dating apps, women have access to men that they previously didn't. I mean, still before even dating apps and social media, you could go to a bar or a nightclub, but now it makes it extremely convenient and also extremely, what's the term I'm looking for? What's the term for keeping something kind of private?
Discreet.
Discreet.
Nice.
So you could like match with somebody on a dating app, go to their place, they go to yours. Nobody would be the wiser. So, I mean, there's a lot of discretion here, which is kind of to the benefit of people who are desirous of engaging in promiscuity. But I think what ends up happening is we all want to get the best we can get, right? We all want the most attractive person, physically attractive, however, what other ways that attractiveness can manifest itself. Could be status, could be personality, could be values, whatever it is. We all want the best we can get. I think the big difference is, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, is that men get rejected on the front end, women will get rejected on the back end. Yeah. So a guy will, what will end up happening, for example, if I were to step to a woman who is just, if we look at it objectively, she's just more attractive than I am, and let's just look at the physical metrics. If I step to a girl who's more physically attractive than I am, I'm getting an instant rejection. She's not going to entertain me for a date. She's not going to entertain me for anything. I don't even get a date with a girl who's like out of my league, let's say. Nothing. Don't get a date. Certainly won't even get any sort of sexual access or romantic access. Nothing. She wouldn't want to pursue me for short-term sex or long-term romantic relationship. It's not the same for women. Men will sleep with a woman who they would, just on the basis of her physical attractiveness, will never be in a relationship with her, but they welcome the easy access to sex. It's not like if I step to a girl who's like a 9, who's just objectively more attractive than I am, and she might have more standards than just purely physical looks, but I ain't scoring a 9, never say never. Maybe she likes my autism, I don't know. If I step to her, instant rejection. But if a girl who's like a 6 steps to a dude who's a 8 or a 9, offering who's simping for the guy and is demonstrates a high degree of desire and interest, and sexual interest especially, he'll be like, okay. He'll never give her commitment, though. Why are you shaking your head?
I disagree.
You disagree with what?
I disagree with the premise that women are never, that if you were to, any guy is going to hit on a woman more attractive than him, it's instant rejection. I see women dating down constantly and having sex down constantly, in my real life.
But here's the thing. So there's a couple things going on there. First, I think that men can offer things beyond just their physical appearance. So I can't speak to the specifics of the instances that you've seen. Perhaps he's got charisma. Perhaps he's offering something when it comes to financially. Perhaps he's got status in some sort of way. He's humorous. Mm-hmm. Women find a wide variety of things in terms of being an attraction trigger.
Dating apps are trash. Donated $69.
Thank you.
I know plenty of men who are attractive, high status, doctors, lawyers, and well-adjusted that struggle to get a lot of matches on the apps. Standards there are insane.
Yo, thank you, man. Also, another point on this, women tend to have an overinflated sense of their own physical attractiveness and the attractiveness of other women. So your assessment of your friend who you think is dating a mid guy, also, so there's I'm trying to think what it is. Men tend to rate women on a bell curve in terms of physical attractiveness.
Final Wave Feminism donated $69. Rephrasing due to censorship. Chad needs to put his peen away. He causes alpha widows. It's damaging all women and the social structure. It's why passport brothers are bad idea. Outsourced feminism.
So you're 100% right. So what ends up happening is women are able to get sexual access to men who are just frankly more physically attractive than them. It could even be other things, like an average girl could get access to like an NFL player, NBA player. They could date a guy who's rich. You could be a 19-year-old girl in college dating a rich guy locally. He might be on, a little bit older, but she has sexual access to that guy. And so it makes them look at the men in their league, and they feel like they're settling.
Right.
But in actuality, that's the guy in your league. Women's league is the men who will give you commitment and a relationship and marriage.
Right, and 100 years ago, that was all you got. You didn't get the NFL player. You didn't get Chad.
Mujina donated $69. Woman equals judgmental, men equals every hole is a goal smile.
It kind of sounds like, in this situation, though, I'm not sure that I really agree with what you're saying, but it sounds like if that's true, then the problem is with men. They need to raise their standards.
No, the problem is that when the sexual revolution happened and everybody decided we're just gonna fuck everybody, instead of women deciding, okay, like my grandma's 98, and her mother taught her and her sister, look, you're gonna have the best chance for getting a husband between 18 and 24.
Yeah.
So nail down the best guy that you can in those years and lock it down.
Except for me, because I had a glow up, and it was confirmed on this podcast.
Well, okay.
Okay.
But in general, it was like there wasn't this idea that they were going to fuck a bunch of hot chads that were never going to marry them, and then they were going to have to settle for some guy that was in their range. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like back in the day, you only had to choose from your local circle of guys that were in your town or your area, unless you had an arranged marriage or something like that. Now, what he's talking about is true. Like women who are a 4 or a 5 at the bar will, some guy who's just biding his time will take her home, and they think that's the guy that they should be with, and they hold every other guy they're with to that standard, and it throws everything off.
Okay, well then it sounds like these men should stop using mid women for sex.
Well, you would think so, but
they're just giving it away. That's the thing. They're just giving it away.
Women are the gatekeepers of sex, not men. Will fuck whoever they can fuck.
Exactly.
Well, then the men should stop fucking whoever they want to fuck.
Well, that's nice to say, but that's not going to happen.
That's a small proportion of men compared to the behavior.
It's all
compared to the behavior of a large swath of women.
Okay, but if this small group of attractive men stops fucking mid women, it's
why
not.
Would they want to though? Why would they?
Men are supposed to be the leaders, these great leaders who are going to lead us into this beautiful patriarchal utopia, and yet they're fucking 5s and 6s and
there's
living
not
an
a
inflated
patriarchal
sense of self.
utopia. But let's think about this for a second. Let's be objective and serious about it. If you're a dude who's one of these top 1%, and every woman you come across is spreading her legs and begging for it, are you not going to, on a slow day go for it? That's the way of the world. Genghis Khan, everybody.
I don't know.
Does anybody remember Genghis Khan?
If this is a problem,
so you as a woman, whether you like it or not, the responsibility is on women. We are the gatekeepers of sex.
I don't see why.
It is because also
I really don't logically see why.
Why don't you see why?
Our innocence and ability to.
Sex without permission is that word? Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I
agree.
I mean, jumping off that, it takes two people to have sex. If there's a responsibility on women to stop batting out of their league, the men who are out of their league have a responsibility to turn them down.
Before birth control, before hormonal birth control and abortion, that's what women did. We were very careful about who we let in the gate, because the repercussions were really, really important and extreme, and you couldn't just go get a fetus deletus or whatever, right? So like there was women were very serious about who they picked. Like if I interviewed my grandma on my channel about how she chose her husband, and she said, well, I thought about like, can he support me and a bunch of kids? Is his family nice? Does he believe in the same things as me? What church does he go to? Does he have a good reputation? Now if you ask a girl, like these girls, right, they're like, whoever's gonna plow me hardest in the back of a car is who I'm gonna go for. This is what happens.
I don't think that's true. I think you have a really pessimistic worldview.
It's not a pessimistic worldview. It's completely realistic.
None of the people I know in real life think that way.
The problem is there's no repercussion. There's no repercussion for women.
Literally,
absolutely
statistically, you girls are banging Chad. That's who you're going for.
That's a weird thing to say.
It's weird how it all comes back down to having mutual respect for each other, and everything else falls in place.
Well, hold on. We just did this experiment on Bumble.
We did.
We had, you said yes to 1, yes to 2. You said 0.
I have a boyfriend. He would be genuinely upset if he saw me see a guy's picture and say yes, and I have respect for my boyfriend.
So you said no to all those. So you didn't see any attractive men there?
I mean,
it's not disrespectful.
No, it's not disrespectful. I can be objective and say that I can look at someone else and find them attractive.
0 out of 30.
Yeah, it's just the respect thing. It's not like none of those men fit my physical standard.
I know you're trying to be respectful to your boyfriend, but like the whole point of it was like, if you were single.
I'm sorry I messed up the experiment.
Okay,
I'm
fine,
trying not to get beat when I go home.
I'll even exclude you from it. We had 1, 2.
I'm kidding.
1.
No, 5.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, I got my numbers mixed up. 5, I think it was 1, and then 3. And then she was the only one who was kind of reasonable at 10 out of 20. So of the girls who did 1 or 2, so 2 of 20, that would mean like 10%. So okay, and some girls said 1, so that means they find only 5% of the men attractive. And if they said 2, 10% of the men. If you only find 10% of the men attractive, essentially what you're saying is I'm a 9.
Right.
If only 10% of men are attractive, you're basically saying I'm a 9.
No, this doesn't correlate to real life. This is you're on camera. You're being forced to look. It's not perfect, and
it's not perfect.
It doesn't. I'm telling you that real people that I interact with in real life, and literally no one I know thinks this way. And we're all feminists.
Most people meet online. Most people are meeting online. Most people are using dating apps.
Well, that's true.
I've
seen my friends meet incredibly fit men online.
If you ask most women, most of them say, yeah, like I only find 10% of the men on dating apps attractive.
I have not.
In person.
I have not seen that.
Most women will say. Most women will say.
None of my friends are banging Chads.
I think it's
women
something
say I find most men unattractive.
Yeah,
I think it's something like 95% of the women like all choose the 1% of the men.
Well, and let's just cut the shit too, because it's like, are you really gonna sit here and tell me that you guys are messing around with the dudes who are like 5s or 6s? Of course you're not.
Yes.
Well,
right?
here's
normalize meeting in person.
Here's the other thing, though. So when it comes to relationships, that's when women will settle a little bit.
Post-wall. Yeah. But, like once they're 35. Like Vivica Fox.
It's because they're expired.
60 years old is now ready to settle down with a nice guy at 60.
After you've already been ran through for your entire life.
Right.
Bingo. But here's the difference.
Is that not what you're doing, Brian?
Literally.
What am I doing?
You're 34, and are you married?
It's different for guys.
He's not running through girls.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know that.
And also, men don't expire as fast as females do. You get to 25 and that's it.
It's just different.
That's not. Hold on.
No, it's true. It's downhill. It's downhill after 25.
Well, yes, there's a bit of a difference when it comes to peak and whatever. But hold on. So, shit, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. The differential is that, for example, for a woman to consider having a one-night stand, she will bend her rule. Like, for example, she will, how do I frame this?
Desert Joe donated $69. Since the dawn of time, men will fuck anything they can. That means women decide who gets to have sex. Stop personalizing your limited experience. Take accountability for who you let in your vajay.
Yeah, we just talked about how genetic studies reveal that 80% of women who've ever made it to reproductive age have been able to have kids, and only 40% of
donated
men have.
$69.
Yeah, thank you, JDL.
Dating app data bears this out. Women swipe right approximately on 2% of men per Tinder and Hinge statistics. Women are very picky on the apps. This is based on hard data released.
There's definitely been a lot of data out there. Just really quick though, when it comes to like more casual sex. So women, if they're otherwise looking for a relationship, they will break their rule if the guy is attractive enough. So, okay, normally I wouldn't do this, but he's really fucking hot. I guess I'll have a one night stand. Whereas men, it's typically the opposite direction. They're not
I can agree with that.
They're not holding out, I'll only have a one night stand if she's super fucking hot. No, it's like, I'll have a one night stand when the opportunity presents itself.
It's also like the false sense of like ego too. Like, you know, like women like perceive themselves so highly, so they're like, oh, like I'll do it for this one really attractive guy because he'll definitely date me. Like I can definitely get him to date me.
Paladins donated $100.
I have something on that.
It's not even about being hyper-attractive conventionally. It's about testosterone and drive. Hit the gym, hit the steroids, be dark triad,
not sure about the steroids,
D.
but
that's all women care about.
Give good D. Okay, that's all women. Okay, thank you, man. I think here's one big difference. So as guys, if we can sleep with the girl, we can probably get that girl in a relationship. It's not clear to me, as women, just because you can sleep with a guy does not necessarily mean you can get him into a relationship.
But do the reverse. If you can get him in a relationship, you can probably sleep with him.
Wait, hold on.
You said for men, it's that if they can get a girl in a relationship, they can probably sleep with her.
No. As a guy, if we can sleep with a girl,
we can probably get her in a relationship.
There's a good chance we can get her in a relationship.
Right, so for a girl, it's if she can get him in a relationship, she can probably sleep with him.
Well, yeah, that's not really.
No, I mean not ever. Lots of people don't have sex in relationships.
If she can get him into a relationship, but women can sleep with almost any guy. So,
yeah. But not if he's saving himself for marriage.
We have had girls that are 200, 300 pounds sit on that side of the table and tell us about how they did 20 dudes in like.
But I think they're lying.
Well,
they're not.
The men
I think they're lying.
But also,
I sort of agree.
I don't know why you would have sex with like a really obese person.
Because all of the
More
really
cushion.
undesirable.
Some people
It's gross.
For the really undesirable guys, that's all they're
gross.
getting.
Like,
That's all they're gonna get.
it's not what?
No, it's not gross. Like calling someone like gross for that. Like everyone has a type. Some people like bigger people. Some people like smaller people. It's not gross. That's like being like, oh, you're skinny. You're all bone. That's gross. Like banging someone's bones. Like what?
I'll have you come in after
donated
this.
$69.
We got two
so
coming
weird.
in.
When I was younger and a rugby player built like a brick SH1 tea house and woman would throw themselves at me a farm boy scared SH1 idless. Now 47 and earning SH1 clothes but way more picky.
Okay. Thank you, Mujana?
Cable donated $69.
Wait, stay
Ryan,
for a bit.
Is there a discount for the
We're almost
Crucible
done.
crew
We're
to
almost
mute
done,
the
I
lazy-eyed
promise.
fake Christian in the red shirt?
20 minutes?
If so, name your price.
You got it. You got it, girl. What's up?
P.S. She's sneaking her phone under the table.
Get this girl an applesauce. Do you want an applesauce? I'll get you.
Wait, what?
I will get you an applesauce. Wait, is there a discount for the Crucible crew to mute the lazy-eyed fake Christian in the red shirt? What the fuck?
Lol Paladins donated
I think
$69.
mute a microphone is $500.
I'm sleeping
FYI.
with 4 women currently, and 2 of them have actively asked for a relationship with me in the past month.
Did you say no?
It's just
to them? I'm assuming you
biology.
did.
Stop complaining about it. We've only returned to animal nature.
Yeah. You had something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it is true that women can sleep with men who are more attractive out of their league that they couldn't necessarily get to date them. What I'm saying is I don't see how that fact relieves men of the responsibility in this situation. I mean, I'm not saying women don't have any responsibility to stop doing it, but I think that I don't know why it all falls on women.
Why does it always have to be the men though?
I'm literally they're saying there's no responsibility on men to not sleep with women below their league.
Okay,
Right, but like women never take accountability for
if
their
they're not
actions.
Christian men, why would they give a shit? Like honestly, if they're not Christian, why would they care?
I don't know why. I'm saying maybe we should tell them to care. Maybe we should be speaking to the men.
From us, you're agnostic. So from like a secular worldview, why not spread your
Final
seed
Wave
far and
Feminism
wide?
donated $69. Ancient Greece and Rome had harsh penalties for homemakers, plus had modern equivalents to birth control, as well as adulterers, the men. Men have to be the first movers. Lola Paladins, are you an animal?
Okay. Yo, Final Wave Feminism. Thank you. Continue.
I'm just saying, it sounds like from your perspective, men are only hurting themselves by doing this. So if men are really just uncontrollable animals that can't stop their urges, it brings me back to this
you're
whole...
talking about men like they're a monolith, and
You're talking about women like they're a monolith.
I've been trying to tell... Here's the difference. I've been trying to tell you, women don't really have a hierarchy. We just compete for men. Men have a hierarchy. So there's always like these top alpha guys that are miles ahead of everybody else, and there's a large proportion at the bottom. So you can't just throw men together and say, why do men do this? Well, the top guys are going to do what they can and do what they want.
If you don't think there's a hierarchy,
who's going to do anything about it?
In terms of women competing for men, that's just crazy. There's absolutely there is a hierarchy of women competing for men.
Yeah, I said the only hierarchy females have is our competition for the best man. Other than that, there is no female hierarchy.
So the male hierarchy is what?
The male hierarchy is this alpha competition similar to wolves, similar to apes, where men compete to be at the top, and whoever...
The top of what are we talking about?
The top of the hierarchy, the power...
That's a little circular. That's a little circular.
She's not circular.
What is the hierarchy? What
She's
do they
talking
get
about
by
in terms
being
of
at the
dating.
top?
That's what she means. She means that, like...
in all of society. So, like,
what is the top?
Who gets to the top of the power structure? Who gets to mate with the top females? Yes, the president, the gang
Joe
leader.
Biden.
But that doesn't...
Joe Biden's eating ice
Would you
cream.
have sex
He's
with
eating ice
Joe
cream.
Biden?
Young Joe Biden, yeah.
You would go to town with Joe Biden.
He was pretty physically attractive.
That's her path.
It's through all of society. So you could look at government, you could look at gangs. How does a male get to be the head of the gang? He's the top alpha, he's the most dangerous, he's the one who has beaten out all the other men to be on top. Men have an extremely competitive hierarchy, and
Rachel
it's
wasn't
dangerous.
a gang, by the way. Rachel,
Was I?
You were in a gang.
Oh, was it the same gang that with the Capitol that they charged the Capitol? Was that the gang?
Oh my,
No.
Okay.